So Conan's out this week recording. He's been under the weather. So friend of the show, we're going to do a Raw review with my good friend, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, what shows? What wrestling shows do you watch?
Just Raw.
That's it. You don't watch any Dynamite. You don't watch Smack. You don't watch anything else. Just Raw.
Just Raw. Yep.
And you do the review with that Featherstone kid on for Sports Keeda, right?
Actually, bro, I do too. I do it with Chris Featherstone for Sports Keeda, and then I do it with Ben and Stevie for russosbrand.com.
Does Sports Keeda, are they sending you and me, are they sending us Christmas gifts for basically keeping their keeping that website alive? Because all they do is post every week stuff we say on the podcast.
Absolutely. There should be something coming our way, bro. Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I mean, we're keeping that site alive for crying out loud, right?
Yeah. And bro, and they love when you say something controversial, you know?
Right, yeah.
So they're always getting me in all kinds of trouble, you know?
Right. Well, me too. It's the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Me, you, Conan, and Cornette are keeping those guys in business right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is what I do with how me and Conan do the Raw review. I basically just go over Jason Powell's review of the show. I don't read everything, but we use Jason Powell's review of the show because he's basically he's my favorite of all the dirt sheet guys.
He's like funny, bro. He's got a great sense of humor. Bro, I've tried to do an interview with him so many times, and bro, he won't do one with me because of the heat he's gonna get with the dirt sheet writers. And I'm like, bro, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. You know,
those people will like to use us for content, but they won't come on the show just to talk about these things.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over this Raw here. So so Kevin Owens comes out, delivers a promo. He speaks about teaming with Drew and the Brawling Brutes for the Survivor Series, the War Games match, right? And he spoke about nearly beating Roman 3 times in the past. He said he was coming to take out the rest of the bloodline, so there'd be no one to stop him from kicking Roman's ass and taking his title. He said he didn't come alone, so his team comes out and Sheamus speaks. He says the War Games match would be painstaking and career-altering. Sheamus recalled telling Sami Zayn that he would be shocked by the 5th member of his team and then revealing that it would be Owens. McIntyre said the Bloodline have taken advantage of the numbers advantage. That all ends on Saturday. And McIntyre asked the crowd if they are ready for war. The Judgment Day comes out, and Ripley said the Judgment Day runs Raw. Dom told the babyface to go to SmackDown and tell his deadbeat dad that he said hello. Balor said he hopes the Bloodline smashes the babyface team at Survivor Series, and Balor said the next time they show their ugly mugs on Raw, the Judgment Day won't be so nice. Sheamus noted he and Balor are Irish, so he doesn't respect Balor. Sheamus said he wants to get Balor in the ring for a singles match and shift to calling for the Judgment Day versus the Brawling Brutes on the spot. And Balor said they were speaking their language, and the priest said they accept, and they made the male Judgment Day wrestlers hit the ring, and they were quickly cleared by the Brawling Brutes. And that's how they this is the old that I'm not a fan of. We're basically and then they have the match, and the match is like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So Dom tries to leave, but then the OC comes out and they chase him back in the ring, and then Mia Yim comes out and she and Ripley starts brawling. Sheamus follows up with a bro kick on Dom and then pins him. And after the match, Balor attacks Sheamus after the match. They have a big brawl again, and Owens ends up kicking Balor and putting him down with a stunner while McIntyre sat back and watched the broadcast chair that Owens vacated. And Owens was on commentary during this too, by the way. Yeah. But this is like a half hour devoted to the first segment, and I'm not. I don't. You know, this to me is like where the writing gets lazy. Yeah. It's like where they go straight to the match. It's like, dude, if this is a pretty big match. Like you got like all these guys. Like this is something you want to announce, tease later, and like come back with like an hour and a half later. Yeah. You know, like instead of like, because if people aren't watching this, they're kind of like they miss this, you know, and stuff. So I think it you know, I don't know.
Well, Glenn, I think this has been. I think this has become Triple H's formula. Listen, bro, I always say this all the time, bro. There is a believe it or not, there is an art to writing a wrestling show. And basically the backbone of that show is the beginning, the middle, and the end, and you need to tie all that together. This has been, Triple H's trademark now. A lot of people come out in the first segment, bro, so we can get pop after pop after pop on all the entrances, and then in segment 2, he goes right into a match, and that's usually 30 to 40 minutes of the show. This has become a Triple H signature, and bro, again, it's all this is to eat up time. There is no thought being put into this, no storyline. There's nothing compelling about it. It's literally just a way to eat up the first 30 or 40 minutes of Raw.
Right. The thing, I'm going to get, because here's the thing. Sometimes they get pigeonholed into booking some of these pay-per-views because of the themes of the pay-per-views. And it's like, so the theme of this pay-per-view coming up is Survivor Series. I don't know if you watch the other shows, but basically the theme is, all right, we're going to highlight all these people fighting with each other at the same time.
Right.
And then that's the sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's like repetitive, like throughout the show. And I'm not a fan of all the groups fighting each other. Eventually, I've just, me and you, we like the individual right. angles. Right. I will say this: I really like it's night and day Dominic's character as a heel versus babyface. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, bro, but it's to me, bro, there's just some inconsistency. Glenn, I think, honestly, they had him being the heel this week. He's running away from Sheamus. Bro, this Dominic's character to me should be that not only does he believe he's the second coming of Eddie Guerrero, but he believes he's better. His father held him down because his father said he had to train for years and years and years because my father knew I was better than him.
Right.
He needs to be that cocky kid that really believes I'm better than Eddie. But rather than book him that way, because that will make people hate him, bro, they go right back to the heel. And why should he be when he's got 3 other people around him?
I'll say this. Dominic listens to our show.
Right.
That is good advice. Like she should be like the guy that more cocky, bro. Because basically it's like him and Austin Theory. You look at them and like the thing is that they're punks. And
right.
like a punk
right.
needs to be more like, needs to be very confident, very like, just to make him, because people want to slap the kid in the face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
yes.
but his work is getting much better. Yeah. I watch things like that because I like the kid, So, his work is definitely, his body language. He looks more realistic out there than he did, but he's just improving,
Bro,
So
it's funny when you say punk, because I swear to God, bro, this is what I'm talking about, Glenn, and I think this is the difference. Bro, I wrote for Shawn Michaels for many, many, many years. Bro, when Michaels was in a feud with The Undertaker, mm-hmm. Bro, Shawn Michaels would get right up in Undertaker's grill. He never ran from Taker because, bro, like in his warped, demented mind, he really believed he could take The Undertaker. And, bro, that's why people wanted to see Taker kick the shit out of him because he was disrespectful to him. He didn't run from him, and they wanted Taker to kill him. I just think Dominic would be a much more successful heel if they took that approach.
Yeah. So the beauty of watching on I record this on Hulu, right? But for some inexplicable reason, Hulu condenses the recorded version down to like an hour and 40 minutes. So I don't get these wonderful segments like this. Johnny Gargano was shown walking backstage, and Kathy Kelly caught up with him and spoke about facing The Miz in a rematch. Gargano said he and Dexter Lumis had an agreement that Lumis wouldn't get involved in his business tonight, and he won't get involved in Lumis' business when he faces Miz next week. What do you think about this Johnny Gargano Miz?
Bro, I got to say something before we get to Gargano. There was one thing that Jason Powell didn't cover, and it was my favorite part of the first segment, bro.
What?
You talk about Glenn like the laziest booking in the world. So the two teams are out there. They make the challenge for the match, right? The announcers go, ladies and gentlemen, during commercial, we're going to find out if this match is going to be made official. I'm like, are you guys freaking kidding me? Like, right. Are we that freaking lazy? Yeah. But, bro, here's the thing with Johnny Gargano, bro. Bro, first of all, the female announcer is 3 feet taller than he is. Like, they're not even attempting to make the guy look bigger than he is. And Glenn, here's the funny thing, bro. I swear to God. So they got Johnny Gargano, who's about 5'6", 150 pounds. So, bro, we'll talk about his match later on. I'll wait until we.
Well, it's coming up next.
Okay,
so bro, I'm going to. I read the Cliff Notes review. So Johnny Gargano makes his entrance, and the Miz comes out a non-wrestling attire and had his hand bandaged. And Miz claimed he suffered an injury filming a TikTok video. He said he knows Gargano goes by Johnny Wrestling and wants to impress everyone, so he did the right thing by finding a worthy opponent. Omos comes out, so Omos against Johnny Gargano. The Miz is on commentary. I'm assuming I didn't see this. So Gargano almost grabbed a distracted Gargano. Was distracted by Miz, and Gargano delivered a knee to his head, and almost charged Gargano, who moved, causing Omos to hit his head on the ring post. Omos fell to the mat, and Gargano super kicked Omos 3 times while he was down on his side. And Gargano went up top and dove at Omos, who caught him by the throat and stood up and chokeslammed him and covered him for the pin in 3 minutes. Did I tell you why? I think I had this conversation with you about why Gargano gets so much airtime. Did I ever go over this with you?
I don't think so, bro.
I told you this, but because I was watching, because Gargano was a focal point on NXT when I was watching NXT because Cross was on it, right? Bro, they just love using him for. I imagine he's probably a one-take guy. They just use him in vignettes over and over and over backstage. Like he's the vignette guy backstage. Like I'm assuming that they're doing that because, like I said, he might be a one-take guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then that's why they use him. I don't know that for sure, but I know they wouldn't be doing all these, using him like bro, he's in like 3 or 4 segments on the show usually. So
bro, here was the 2 things that really stuck out to me. And again, bro, we're going to keep going back to this lazy booking because that's what it is. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for them. First of all, bro, the story is that Miz cut his hand on a cactus so he can wrestle. Okay, bro. So I guess that's okay with the guy, whoever made the first match official. So he must have went to that guy and said, bro, I cut my hand on a cactus and I can't wrestle. And that guy said to him, okay, Miz, you don't have to wrestle. And not only that, why don't you go out there and name Johnny Gargano's opponent for tonight? Wait, it's like, bro, where do you guys come? You're literally pulling out of your. Yeah. Then, bro, you will hate this, Glenn. You will, and Johnny Gargano's supposed to be a great worker, right? Mm-hmm. So, bro, Johnny Gargano gets almost down, and he's got almost off his feet. What does Johnny Gargano do, bro? You finally got the giant off his feet. What does he do, bro? He looks at the crowd. He looks up at the third row. He looks up at the crowd. Rather than freaking immediately try to cover the guy, he's going through all these ridiculous theatrics where he looks like an absolute imbecile. Bro, you've got him down. Keep him down. Go for the pin. Don't freaking waste time going through what you saw on wrestling when you were 6 years old.
So next is they go to Rollins. He's doing one of those backstage interviews where Graves is interviewing him from the desk via satellite. Rollins said you have to use quickness and survive Lashley. Rollins spoke about being attacked by Lashley in theory. He said he never felt better. He said he asked for Triple H for the triple threat match because he had a bone to pick with both men, called it 2 birds with 1 stone situation. He said Theory lost everything. He might be more dangerous than ever. And Rollins said Theory might be the dumbest person alive. He said it's not because Theory tried to cash in the U.S. title. which Rollins endorsed while pointing out his own history of cashing in. Rollins says it's because Theory tried to make a name for himself at his expense. And Rollins told Theory to call Cody Rhodes and ask him how his rehab is going. Rollins said Lashley is a brute. He's dealt with those types, and he knows Theory like the back of his hand because he used to be him. Rollins said the real question is what his challengers would do to prepare for him, and Austin Theory was shown watching the Rollins interview on a backstage monitor. And he turned and looked in the camera and said Rollins doesn't understand him and nobody does. And he said hitting rock bottom may have been the best thing that ever happened to him. Theory said he's a new man, and Theory told his opponents to watch what he does tonight because it would likely be the result when they meet on Saturday. So, I saw Alvarez tweet that he said he doesn't understand this Rollins character right now. And I'm like, the Rollins character is more defined than like most characters, most of these guys on the show. But he's trying not to. He still has to. Like he can't change, like being the obnoxious prick that he's been lately, just because they're training him towards babyface. So his character is a very difficult sell as a babyface because he's got he's got the laugh. He's like the Joker, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're turning him, just because the fans sing along with his song.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, because they're obviously turning him babyface, but I think he's more valuable as a heel. Yeah. You know, what do you
bro,
think?
Yeah. Here's the confusing part about it, bro. They're definitely trying to turn himself in babyface. He's trying to turn himself babyface by conducting the crowd with the singing. So, okay, bro, they're trying to make him babyface. But the problem is, if you're trying to turn him babyface, why is he mentioning what he did to Cody Rhodes?
Right.
Like that. That's
because he's trying to stay in his character, which is a difficult character to sell as a babyface.
Exactly.
So it's like right. It's like he I don't know. Yeah. But I'll tell you this. Theory's mic work, since he's gotten rid of that suitcase thing, he's taken a step forward. Like his promos before, I was like, I'm not getting this. I'm not really compelled by what this guy says, bro. He's a pretty strong talker.
Yeah.
What do you think,
bro? Because
he's still young. I think that kid's only 22 years old.
Yeah. Bro, what they did with him last week, where he was tired of being laughed at, being called kid, this, that, so he snapped. Bro, that should have been his character from day one.
Right. Then I think they've realized that, and it's like, oh, this works better, So,
but, bro, here's the problem. He was so strong on last week's show, bro. He killed Dolph Ziggler. He left Seth Rollins laying. They made him so strong, and I was like, good, bro. That's what he should have been from day one. Not the stupid, goofy selfie business and all that.
In the suitcase.
But Glenn, what do they do the following week? He has a competitive match with Ali?
Yeah,
are you freaking kidding me, bro?
I don't know what they're doing with the. Ali's he's kind of been remember when he was trying to get fired, or he wanted to leave, wanted them to let him go and everything, bro. They're I wouldn't put this past Hunter. But they're burying this guy every single week.
Definitely.
It's just he's just getting remember what they did to Lana?
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting the Lana treatment.
Yeah, we've said that. Exactly.
Right. As I'm so it's so he goes and wrestles Ali. They do have a competitive match because they're trying to protect Ali, but then they're burying him after. They're he's getting pummeled by everybody, just getting beat up every show. But it's I don't know where they're going with that. But if they do come out for something like this for Ali, I was like, okay, I'll give you guys credit because I didn't see it. But
bro, what the funny thing is, though. This is what I was gonna say earlier, bro. This cracks me up, okay? Because they got so many guys on this roster that are 5'0" and 150 pounds, right? So, bro, during the entire match with Almos and Gargano, the announcers are saying, look at the fight in him. He's resilient. Johnny Gargano will never go down without a fight. Look at him. So, bro, now we get to Ali. And now here's the tagline on Ali. Look at Ali. He's resilient. He'll never. So, like, okay, bro. So you're gonna put 4, 5, 150-pound guys on the show, and that's gonna be the story of every single one of them. Yeah. How resilient they, like, right. Bro. What are we doing here, bro? With these guys?
Yeah. So after the match, Lashley comes to the big screen, told Theory if he wanted his attention, he has it now, and basically Lashley comes out, and they have a confrontation. Him and Theory have a confrontation here. Both of these guys are heels, okay? So he makes his entrance, and he spoke as he walked the ring and said he was surprised that Theory was still in the ring. He didn't take the first SUV out of town, and Lashley said Theory was looking tough like he wanted to fight. Lashley says Theory just had to pick up the scraps he left from him. He still couldn't get the job done when he had the Money in the Bank contract, and Theory said everyone knows that he would be the U.S. champion if it wasn't for Lashley, and Theory said Brock Lesnar kicked Lashley's ass, and then Rollins beat Lashley for the U.S. title. Theory said Lashley wanted redemption, couldn't get the job done at Crown Jewel. Theory said Lashley and Rollins think they're stepping in the ring with the same kid that he was previously, and said he'd walk out of Survivor Series with the U.S. title. There was nothing that Lashley or Rollins could do about it, and Lashley told Theory he didn't think he'd walk out of Raw tonight. He entered the ring, and Theory threw punches at him, and Lashley battled back. They rolled a ringside. Lashley tossed Theory into the timekeeper's area and reached over the barricade to grab him, but Theory hit him with a chair. Lashley no-sold us, and Theory ran away. And then afterwards, Lashley comes back through the curtain, and Austin Theory shoves Ali, who was back there selling, into Lashley. Ali, for some inexplicable reason, shoves Lashley, and Lashley takes him and beats him up and put the hurt lock on him and left to play this poor kid. Right?
Bro, here's the funniest part, Glenn. You talk about, again, I'm going to say it again, lazy booking. You talk about lazy booking. So, bro, Bobby is chasing Austin Theory. Bro, as soon as he goes on the other side of the curtain, Ali's just sitting there in the chair. He's just sitting, like, are you guys freaking kidding me? Can the Pursue not go into a locker room? You know, they literally had him sitting in the middle of nowhere so they could do that spot, bro.
So this, I want to read you Powell's POV on this.
Yeah.
The new and improved Theory is a big improvement. I like the way he stood his ground and talked to Lashley rather than backing down in fear. Granted, he ended up running away after Lashley no-sold the chair shot, but they still managed to establish that Theory is now a grown man and not the doofus kid who took selfies and sucked up to Vince. Meanwhile, Ali just comes off like a punching bag with a hairstyle that doesn't work for him. I mean, really, that's all he's. I mean, that's his. That's true. Right?
Well, you know this guy. Ali went after me online.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, bro. Just by that fact alone, the fact that he went after me and called a 61-year-old man a hoe,
right,
bro? I'm telling you, this kid is probably one of those young kids that think very highly of themselves. They're great wrestlers. They know everything. And, bro, you know that ain't going to fly in the back.
Right.
So I guarantee you, bro, that's his attitude in the back.
So here's another spot that didn't make it on to Hulu. Riddle and Elias against Alpha Academy, Gable and Otis. They usually no backstage promo for Riddle this week, huh? They usually have like a minute promo with Riddle in the back as to do this goofy stuff, you know?
There was. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe Riddle has heat too, because he's kind of just buried in a nothing angle here too.
I think they just don't know what to do with that guy, bro, which is insane, man. This guy needs to be in an angle, but he's just having random tag team matches.
What did you think about when he was doing like the serious stuff with Seth?
No, that was good, bro.
Right, I did that. I don't know why they kind of like they did that for a brief moment, and then they just kind of went back to him. He's the goofy kid, like on the skateboard and on the scooter.
Well,
and everything.
Probably because
in the drum,
mid-story they made the decision to turn Seth heel, so they had to get Riddle away from him.
So they just show the debate. I don't know why they did 16 minutes. For this match, I don't know. So the babyface to go over. So whatever. This is like 16 minutes of time filler TV. So.
Exactly.
So Baron Corbin countered his poker chips while JBL sat beside him, and both men took jabs at the host city. Drew McIntyre showed up, and JBL took a shot at Scotland for not making the World Cup, and McIntyre challenged Corbin to a match. Corbin said they could handle it on the spot. McIntyre said he respects his elders, but not you, and he punched him right in the face. You don't watch AEW, right? Okay, so let me tell you something about the work on this show. I speak about this a lot, and I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but bro, like on AEW, everybody does forearms, and WWE, everybody punches, like throws punches, and they look like they can fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like this was actually the end spot of this where Drew punched him in the face looked pretty real. You know, so that was like a good. But this is so silly, you know. But I will say this: when JBL and Corbin first started, when they first made their, he was. I guess he's his manager, but like Corbin wasn't dressing like he looked like they looked like two people that had nothing in common with each other at all.
Yes.
But now they're kind of like they kind of changed the way Corbin dresses to make it look like they like complement each other a little bit more, which is something that I think, like visually it just didn't look good, and now it like looks, whatever. But basically, So last week, I guess the Japanese guy did the spot with the poker, okay, the Nakazawa or whatever. What's his name?
Tozawa,
okay. So Drew and Corbin go out and have a match. At the end, the 17 minutes, another like over a guy making a challenge at a poker table. So it's like, so Azara showed up on the broadcast table wearing actual ring gear and waved at Corbin, and he stole JBL's hat, and then and that distracted Corbin, and he hit him with a Claymore kick and pinned him.
Did you actually watch this?
I saw that. Yeah, it was so. I'm like, what? I don't know. It's like they haven't gotten completely away from the stuff.
You come back here. You give him his hat back. Hey,
right.
What, bro? This is for children, bro.
Bro, JBL. Okay, it's to the JBL character. Okay, when Nakazawa got his face, because the other thing, he just smacked him right in the face.
Right. Yep.
And he's letting the guy like get right in his face, take his hat off, and he just stands there. If he takes that, bro, that's like if the hat was such a big deal, he should have made a bigger stink about it and tried to like go after the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is silly.
It's ridiculous.
So AJ, Luke, and Carl Anderson and Mia Yim were interviewed backstage, and Finn comes up and Styles said him and Balor were close, but he's going to realize the OC is his family. And then Balor showed up and asked Styles if he thinks he's a bad guy, and said he's worse. He's a devil. Said, "When you dance with the devil, you never dance again." And the other Judgment Day members show up, and they all are brawling backstage. And like I said, because the theme of the Survivor Series is they're all be fighting at the same time, so they're trying to sell that visual going into the match, and that I guess that was the point of this. So, what'd you think of this? You're not a fan of Finn, are you?
No.
I think it. Well, I think he's far better as a heel than he is as a babyface.
Yeah.
Like there's.
Bro, I'm sorry. I just, Glenn, I can't get past the size of these guys. Right. I just can't, because I'm from the school of, if this were real, what would happen? You could have the one underdog, bro. You had the 1, 2, 3 kid. But, bro, when you've got 5 of them at 160, 70 pounds, I can't get past the size, bro.
Well, the only thing I would say about that is, like, you have enough of it, because this roster now is kind of interesting, because it's like you have like a bunch of smaller guys and you have a lot of bigger guys.
Yeah.
And it's like you really can't, everybody's not kind of like the medium height like they used to be and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but you have enough of the smaller guys that they can all fight each other.
Yeah, I'm fine with, bro.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
All right, so next is the we're getting near the end here of this show, I guess. So Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa made their entrance, and and the announcers had to note that Mia Yim was involved in the backstage brawl and was not with her teammates. So, all right. So she said she knew. So Belair said her battle with Bayley would finally come to an end at War Games. And she said she knew she couldn't win it alone. Said there's nobody she'd rather go to war with than her girls. And Belair introduced her partners. Bliss said she wants to throw Nikki Cross in the trash where she belongs. And Asuka yelled that we are ready for you, but nobody's ready for us. Then Belair said, wait until they see who their 5th teammate is. And she said they would make their decision on SmackDown. The fans would not be disappointed. The people didn't like that, of course, because they didn't reveal it at this show. The review, well, bro, they got booed, So
well, bro, think about that, bro. Of course, Glenn. I made up that I was consulting for USA Network. That was all made up. I never consulted for them. But bro, I got to tell you this, bro. If I was still consulting for them, I would have, bro. I would have cut such a promo. Is USA Network kidding me, bro? You've got a talent literally saying, oh, bro, Raw isn't important enough, or Raw isn't big enough for us to tell you who the fifth member is. We got to wait till we're on SmackDown. Bro, you talk about absolutely on the network. If I was USA Network, I'd be like, are you kidding me? Bro, I was so sure, because the way they set that up, that they were going to run in the last member at the end of the show.
Right.
I was so, bro, they absolutely buried Raw, the show, the network, that it wasn't important enough to do it on this show. I don't get it, bro.
Yeah, so Bailey ran down. So the Bailey crew comes out with Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross, and it's unbelievable that I guess they only got one segment this show, but that thing, the Damage Control, was like getting so much airtime for a group that doesn't really look like they have anything in common with each other, right?
Yeah.
So she said Bailey ran down Belair and her opponents and said Belair was throwing Asuka in the advantage match rather than stepping up on her own. And Asuka told her to shut up and call for the match to happen on the spot. And Ripley said she would eradicate Asuka just as she did at WrestleMania. But basically, this is, I will give them I will give them some credit here. Okay, is that the one thing that they do better is like the match. Remember when Vince months and months and months ago, or maybe it was like a year ago, maybe longer than a year. Remember when he made that thing? He said, "I don't want any more. I want all the matches to mean something."
Yeah,
it's like even so. This is for the War Games advantage spot. Like whoever gets the first, it's like all right. At least there's some stakes on the line here, right?
Yeah.
But I know you don't really like work and stuff, but I like Rhea Ripley's. She's really good.
I'm a fan of hers, bro.
Yeah. Asuka's actually, her work is pretty good, but her character is it's like I don't know why they think they try to make Japanese characters into all they're all. I don't know. So, and they all have to be kind of look like an anime.
Yeah.
Like this. I don't know. It's just so stupid. But
what I hated about this, Glenn, is
let me finish. Let me finish the thing we'll just talk about. Okay. So Ripley wins. Okay. So of course, there's a lot of chaos at ringside because they're selling the Survivor Series. So after the match, Bailey pulled Asuka's arm and they cut the replay footage. They went back to the ring and showed a brawl between the two sides. The babyfaces put up a fight, but the heels' number game won out, and then Mia Yim runs out and brawled into the crowd with Ripley, and then they shot this wrong because they showed them standing up and looking at the girl coming to dive on them, and Asuka dives on them all at the end, and they fall down like bowling pins, which is the spot they do on every AEW show. They ended this show with that, so it's like I don't know. I'm not the only thing. I mean, like the only thing I'm really interested in right now still is the bloodline. I'm not interested in a lot of this stuff on the show.
Let me point out something very interesting to you. What you said about Rhea Ripley, because she's a freak, bro. She's a beast. She's a freak. She's unique. So she's over with me. But Glenn, here's the problem in a nutshell. This is how they kill characters. Glenn, you got your opening segment where you've got 5 guys on one team out there, and there are 4 people on the other team. Okay, so to even the score and make it 3-3, McIntyre and Owens weren't in the match. Okay, Glenn, Rhea Ripley just body slammed Lou Gallows.
Right.
Put Ripley in the match.
Right.
Put her in the match with the freaking guys, bro. But rather than do that, what do? You put her in the end, and she's going to go 15 minutes with Asuka? That's where they kill her, bro.
Right, because she absolutely is a character that could be right at the top. Working when Charlotte comes back and stuff.
Yes.
But like you're right, like 18 minutes with Asuka does her no thing. But here's the problem: you can't. And I'm pretty sure that they look at it this way. It's like once you put her in there with the guys, there's no going back, because then you have China. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. There's zero believability if Rhea Ripley's wrestling the guys that the matches against the girls should be anything but a 1-minute squash at best. You know what I'm saying? So they can't like. I don't think you can go there logically and have her go back and wrestle the girls. What I think they're thinking there.
Well,
because she does have that. She does have the China vibe.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're pushing her kind of like the early China was pushed.
Yeah.
It's very similar, right?
What I would say to that is, bro, if she's got 3 other men on her team or 2 other men on her team, then you pick her spots. Then when you have the female opponent like a Charlotte or whoever, all you have to do is let them point that out. Yeah, you're wrestling with the guys because you're picking the spots. You're going in when it's that's all they got to do, bro.
Yeah,
but to put her in there 15 minutes with Oscar, you kill her, bro.
Yeah. But I'm underwhelmed by this paper. Like I said, the only match I'm interested in is the Bloodline stuff. But that's because that's because it's like really the only really interesting thing on the show these days. So so that's been our Raw review, and thank you, Vince, for filling in for Conan this week for us.
Oh, no problem. And I wish Conan well. I texted Conan. I know he's feeling a little under the weather. I wish Conan well. All my prayers to you, my friend.
Okay, cool. Thanks, bro.